Well, let's head out to the Boxer and Gerson guest line. Steve Kerr is sponsored by Xfinity. The Xfinity 10G network is made for streaming live sports, which means it's the network you can rely on in the biggest moments. The Xfinity 10G network, the best way to stream live sports, and presented by Great Clips. In sports, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. Great Clips, it's going to be great. And with that, we bring him in, Steve Kerr. And Steve, normally it's how you doing, but I think we all here know how you're doing and how it's been. And so on behalf of all of us at 95.7 The Game, I just want to express our condolences to you, to the Warriors family, and obviously to the Milojević family. And I really appreciate you taking time and coming on here today, Steve.
Yeah, thanks for the thoughts, and I appreciate everybody's support. You know, we've heard from so many people throughout the Bay Area this last week, and I want to thank everybody out there for sending their thoughts and all the support that they've given to us and the organization, the family. It's been obviously really, really difficult, but heartwarming to receive the love that we have.
Can you tell us more about Decky himself? Because we've gone through and, we saw the tribute from Belgrade, and FP and I were both unbelievably touched, and I know you and your team were as well, and you spoke to that yesterday. But for those of us who follow the team, and we obviously don't go super deep with all the assistant coaches, many of us didn't know much about him at all.
Yeah, we brought him aboard 3 seasons ago. We were looking to just kind of change the staff and get some new blood in. And Kent Lacob had done a lot of scouting in Europe, and he had run into Decky when Decky was coaching over there and got to know him. And so Kent came back and told me about him. And, I'm always intrigued with European coaches. I think in a lot of ways they have developed, their young talent better than we have here in the United States, and frequently they have good insights. They maybe run different stuff. They're not kind of in the NBA mix, and so it's good to get fresh perspective. And so I interviewed him and immediately loved him. He was just so full of life and energy and joy and everything that we kind of believe in here. A selflessness, a love for the game, competitiveness. He was all about that, and we hired him partly with the thought of him working with James Wiseman, because he had been a great dominant big man in his own right in Serbia, and worked with Nikola Jokic and some of the other Serbian centers who are now in the NBA. So we brought him aboard, and he was a home run immediately. He just connected with so many guys and with all the coaches, and like I said, he just was a source of joy and light every single day, and it's hard to believe that he's not here.
Yeah, Steve, I can't imagine what you guys are going through right now, and you've navigated it so well. But a lot of times in life, we get so caught up in the amount of money we make, or the championships and the rings, and maybe the Hall of Fame and our status as an athlete or as a coach. But when you talk about our legacy as a person, and I think you're so great at this, like, to see how many lives he touched. Like, when it's all said and done, no one's going to ask how many points per game you average or how much money you made, but it's the lives we touch along the way. And to see, like, how you're handling this, it's unbelievable. And to see how Decky affected so many lives, like watching that tribute today, Steve, I was on the treadmill and I was moved to tears. And I know you're going through some horrible things right now as a team and personally, but to see how many lives he touched, man, that has to bring a smile to your face. And we all hope that when it's all said and done, that we can touch lives like he did.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it was Maya Angelou said, "You're not going to remember what anyone said, not going to remember what they did. You're going to remember how they made you feel." And I think that's something that I think about a lot. The people who really have impacted me in my life. It's how they've made me feel. I may not remember the exact words, but I know exactly how those people made me feel. And that's those are perfect words for Decky, because he's just one of those guys you just love seeing every day. He made you feel good. He made you feel good about yourself, about the game, about your team. And he was so humble. We all knew his track record as a player. He was a 3-time MVP in the Adriatic League, which is a really strong league. So we knew he was a hell of a player, but he was so humble. He never talked about his playing days. So when we saw that tribute yesterday, and we saw how many lives he impacted and the outpouring of love and support for Decky in Serbia and Belgrade last night, it was just stunning and so amazing. But it spoke to what you just talked about, FP, just that, that humanity and just what a kind and decent person he was.
Just powerful goosebumps, and I'm with FP in terms of watching the tribute. I was fighting back tears at just the power of the crowd and the amount of tribute, and I know the Warriors have something special planned for tomorrow as well. Steve, sometimes it takes tragedy and turmoil to bring out the best in people. Can you share with us just the role that Rick Celebrini and Dario Saric played in terms of the aftermath and the tragedy that took place?
Yeah, I mean, without going into too much detail, I just, there was just such incredible leadership from both guys, from Chris DeMarco as well, who was Decky's best friend on the staff, and the two of them just had an incredible friendship. And but just watching Rick, who heads our player performance program, really, led the entire operation, after Decky suffered the heart attack, and what was the contact person with everyone, the EMTs, the hospital at University of Utah, our players, our coaches. Rick was just a star. And then, Dario, obviously just heartbroken. He was probably the closest player to Decky, given their history together from that part of the world and their shared language. And to see Dario, be so supportive of his teammates and coaches and Decky's family while he was going through, that sorrow himself was just incredible to watch. So we're blessed with some really outstanding people in our organization. We really are.
It's really cool that the league gave you those days off, because I don't know how you guys would have tried to play a game, and it is just a game when it all comes down to it. But Steve, the locker room was always a sanctuary for me. I never went through anything like this, what you're going through right now. But when you talk about getting back to business and having to compete and having to play games, is there some comfort in being together and being with your brothers and being part of a tribe and being next to a guy who you have value to and trying to go out there and compete together? And maybe even if the locker room is kind of a sad place right now, that when you get into the game, you put it on autopilot and it's about competing and winning?
Yeah, I think the court is going to be a sanctuary or haven, whatever you want to call it, for the guys. You're able to compete and lose yourself in something you love after an extended period of mourning and loss. It's really the best thing you can do, I think, is to go compete, go play. So we couldn't have played those first couple of games. The league was great to postpone those games and give us the time we needed. But, we've practiced well the last couple of days. The guys are, really leaning into each other, leaning into their families, leaning into the game. It's time to go back to work tomorrow night. I think it'll be good for everybody.
I'm sure you saw what Steph had to say about the way you handled the moment and how you addressed it head on, and you handled it so perfectly after Decky's passing. How much pride does that give you, knowing that in these moments, and you've, of course, been a great leader for so long, but to hear that from Steph Curry and to hear that from your players, that kind of praise in light of this tragic moment, it's got to give you a little bit of a source of pride, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it feels good when, someone that you've been with for a decade, someone you love, someone you've collaborated with, it feels good to be praised by someone like that. And I would throw the compliment right back to Steph. We've had something really special here for a decade, and it's not just the wins, it's not just the championships, it's not just the beautiful basketball that these guys have played, but it's the connection they've built with each other, with their coaches, with the fans here in the Bay. And, everything matters. It really does. And I think, we've been able to capture the magic of sports here with this sort of collaboration that we've had and our incredible fans and to build that connection, it takes a special group of players and special group of human beings. And, Steph, Draymond, Clay, these guys, Loon, they're really amazing people. And they're going to work together and we're going to keep moving forward.
Well, Steve, there's not much more to say other than our thoughts are with you, and we hope for the best. And I mean, time heals. There's no other way really to put it. And I look forward to future shows where we can get back to the really insignificant things like playing time and 1-2 pick and rolls.
Yeah, I do too. So thanks for having me on this week, and again, thanks to everybody out there for all your support. We'll talk to you guys next week.
All right, thanks, Steve. I appreciate it, man. Great talking to you. Good luck.
Thank you.